This is Christy Falk with Create with Christy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm back with another one of my 12 weeks of fall and Halloween projects. This is week number 9. Made a little Halloween project, and I had a lot of these little milk dud boxes around, so I thought I'd make a little package for that. I'm using the Trick or Tweet stamp set and the Toil and Trouble Designer Series paper, and also the black organdy ribbon that's glittered. All these are in the holiday catalog. And I'll show you the stamp set real quick. It's Trick or Tweet. And I'll be using the little bird and the Trick or Tweet greeting. And I'm also using layering circles dies. And I wanted to show you which ones I'm using. I'm using the number 2 die. When I count them, always number 1 is the smallest. I'm using the second to the smallest circle die and the number 2 scallop die. So let's get started. I'm going to grab my Simply Scored scoring tool. And I need a 5" by 2" piece of Highland Heather. I love this purple. It's such a pretty purple. And I'm going to score this with the 5" side along the top. I'm going to score it at 2 inches and 3 inches. That's it for that piece. And then you need another piece of Highland Heather that is 4½ by 2½. Now this is the one that makes the little box on the inside. I forgot to show you the inside. It's got a little pocket to put it in. So this is going to be the pocket piece. You need the 4½ side along the top. You score it at ½ inch and 1½, at 3, and at 4. And you're going to rotate it a 1/4 turn, so a 2½ side is on along the top, and you're going to score it at ½ inch and at 1½. And that's all the scoring we need to do, so we're going to get this out of the way. Right now we'll go ahead and decorate the cover of it. That was the 5" by 2". I'm going to go ahead and take my bone folder and burnish them a little bit, just so I don't forget to do that. Helps to fold the score lines. Okay, now I know this is going to be my outside, so I'm going to put some designer paper on the front. I'm going to use the ghost design that's in the Toil and Trouble Designer Series paper. You'll need 2 1 3/4 by 1 3/4" pieces, and another one that is 3/4 by 1 3/4. So the narrow one is the one that's going to go. Oops, this one's not working. Let me grab another one quick. Guess that one was empty. I didn't look at it before I got it started. Here we go. Much better. Okay, this one gets put on the binding. You just center it, just like that. I'll hurry up and get the other pieces in. Center this one. And when I'm centering it is the outside lines and the score line. So this one was in between the score lines and the top and bottom edge. And this one will go in the other section. Centering it between that score line and the outside edges. Okay, that's ready to go. So we'll go ahead and put that to the side. Now I'll bring in the 4½ by 2½ piece. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to take my paper snips, and we're going to be cutting this whole section off and this whole section off. So you go in to the second score line from the end, and then go all the way up to the last score line at the top. Do the same thing here, the second score line from the left, and stop when you get up to the top score line, and then just cut along that top score line. So we're going to take these sections off. Okay, so that's ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and burnish these. In case you don't know which side to start scoring, the valley is actually the outside, so you want to turn it over so it looks like the bump is on the top, and that's where you're going to fold it up. So I'm just going to do that on all the score lines real quick, so we're ready. I always do this first because I have put boxes together and forgotten to do the burnishing, and it takes a lot harder to put together that way. So I'll always get this out of the way before I forget. Okay, so now we know the folds are going to go this way, so this is the outside. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take another piece of the ghost paper. This one is 1 3/4 by 3/4. This is the only one you're going to need for the inside. And that's going to be centered on this section right here. Oops, I'm going to turn this around. I almost did that backwards. This is the way you want it laying down. And then you put this on so it goes to the right direction. That's why if it was a pattern, it didn't matter, it wouldn't have mattered. But the ghosts, we don't want them upside down. Okay, and now I'm going to put some tear and tape adhesive on these two little tabs and this one down here. Grab it real quick and just put it across the center of the tabs. And it doesn't have to be completely straight, just as long as it stays within the tab, that score line in the end. Okay, last one. Okay, and this is how I put this together. First off, I'm going to take the tape backing off of one of the side ones. And if it starts to come off with you like it just is for me, kind of rub it again and go to another section. Sometimes, there we go, sometimes I end up getting a hold of the paper and the adhesive, so that's how you fix that. So I'm going to bring this section up and attach it just like this. You want the edge of the tab with the score line of this tab. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. So I'll remove the paper backing. Probably get this a little closer, maybe you can see it a little better. And attach it so that edge of the bottom tab is along that score line. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and take this off. Sometimes easier said than done. Oh, I did it again. I took up too much of it. So we'll go the other side. Here we go. And now this is going to be the inside, so I'm going to center it left and right and just a little above the bottom edge. And wait, then you can put your thumb in here and make sure it's in there. So that's all together. And now we're going to do the stamping. Take a 1 3/4 inch by 1 3/4 inch piece of Whisper White. Need your Memento Tuxedo Black ink pad. And here's my cute little birdie that's a ghost. Kind of stamp her or him in the center, close to the center. Doesn't have to be perfect, we're going to be die cutting it. I've got my pumpkin pie Stampin' Right marker and my crushed curry Stampin' Right marker. These are in the Regals collection. And I'm going to take, on this little section, there's a little bit of the face showing in his little ghost outfit. So I'm going to use the small point for that to get that one taken care of. And then use the brush tip to do the rest of it. So the bird is going to be my yellow. His feathers are going to be yellow. I thought a Tweety bird in all those old cartoons that I used to love watching Saturday mornings. So I thought I'd make him yellow. Then I'm going to take the pumpkin pie, and since his legs are so skinny, I'm going to go ahead and use the right tip on here too. So this pumpkin pie is going to do his legs and the little beak. And that's it. Okay. And now I'm going to take the second to the smallest circle die from the Layering Circles Framelits, bring my Big Shot in, and use a magnetic pad, a standard cutting pad, and the magnet pad helps the die stay in place. So get it centered pretty good. Put this on top, another standard cutting pad on top. Okay, that's all taken care of. Now I'll get the Big Shot out of the way. And there's my cute little bird all ready to go. Okay, now I've already, this was from a 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 inch piece of basic black, and I used the second to the smallest scallop circle from the same die set. That one you end up die cutting just like I did the bird. So put the little bird right there in the center. Now I'm going to take an 18-inch piece of that black organdy glittered ribbon I showed you earlier. And I just did this to keep it in place a little better. With this closed, I'm just going to put a little bit of SNAIL adhesive across the middle of this where I know the ribbon's going to go. Kind of fold this in half is what I do. Then I kind of can insert that so I've got an idea that I've got it, the lengths right. And then just kind of attach it right on top of that SNAIL adhesive. And that'll keep it in place while I'm working with it. And then I'm going to take some Stampin Dimensionals and put them on the back of my little bird. Probably just needs 2 of them. Okay. Take the paper backing off of this. And put him right in the center. Okay, now we want to do the old trick or treat. I just grabbed a strip of my scraps of my pumpkin pie. I'm going to take the trick or treat stamp, stamp it on here with the Memento ink pad again. I'm going to center it between my classic label punch. That looks pretty good. Get that out. I'm just going to put some SNAIL adhesive along the center back of this. And I'm going to put it, oops, don't want it upside down. There we go. Just put it right over his little legs near the bottom of his circle. And that's all ready to go. Then we can just grab our milk duds, put that in there like so. Bring this around and tie it in a bow. I like this Organdy ribbon because it's a little stiff on the edges, and I think it makes it easier to get your bows looking the way you want them to. So I can play around with that and see how nice that looks. I really like that ribbon. And now these are a little bit too long, so I'm going to take my paper snips and cut the ends at an angle. I wanted it a little longer because it makes it a little easier to tie the bow. And that's it. It's pretty simple. You can make these pretty quick. Hope you enjoyed this project. I'll be back next week with the fall project with my 12 weeks of fall and Halloween. It'll be number 10. And if you'd like to see any of my videos and get notifications, please subscribe to my YouTube channel below. And also, I've got the list of my Facebook group page, my Pinterest page, my Create with Christy page, and my Instagram page. You can follow those along with all the other projects I do that I don't make videos for. And if you don't have a demonstrator, I'd love to be yours. If you don't have a Stampin' Up! Catalog, just please email me at christyfalk@createwithchristy.com, and I'll get one sent out to you. And I'd be happy to help you with your creativity. I have a lot of fun showing these projects. Hope you had fun with it too. I'll see you next week.